see this is a very fine sand, unlike what you'll find near the riverbed. Here I have some samples from the clay court. Actually, the first time I played there, it was baked so hard and cracked I was able to peel some pieces off, as you see here. This shows you how hard, especially with sand in it, how hard it can get. You can see that there. Also, you can tell it's clay if you bust it up. You can see that's a powder. That's the clay powder. You can see it over my hand. Anyways, they get their clay. I finally got all this information. They get it from a riverbed. It has, besides clay, there's sand and other elements, silt. There's some limestone. That's the pink hue on parts of the court that you could see. Some gravel. So it makes for a slippery clay court when it's really hot and dry. Now, the first day I was there, and one of the pieces I grabbed was I put it right in the water just to check it out. And you can see here, I'm stick it in the water here. This is definitely a large amount of clay. Just in case anybody doubts that this is much clay, this is definitely a clay loam. Yes, there's other elements. Yes, there's sand. You can actually see, if you get a close-up here, you can see like there's little pieces of sand and other things, but the way this behaves, it's like molding clay if you're in an arts class, And what I did was get it into like a little square, and there it is. And within about an hour, that thing's going to be looking just like this piece. So, yes, clay from a riverbed. Several people there told me that they get their sand from the beach, though I'm assuming there's going to be sand near the riverbed as well. So there's sand within the clay, and you can tell. That's why, clay is gray, obviously, and this is the grayish color, but it's also kind of whitish, and that's from all the sand. And then, of course, the sand on top. Last night when I played, they actually had watered the court, and the sun went down, and it stayed, it was dry. It got dry quick, because sand clay courts will get dry quick, but actually on the sides, off the court, it was sort of wet sand. But on the court it was dry, but not too dry, and it played pretty nice. It wasn't too fast. The bounces were a little bit more even. But, they need to water that, like, constantly. If Rome needs to do that with crushed brick, here in the Dominican Republic with an old school clay court without any crushed brick, they need to water it a lot. And that's a lot of water. So I'm not even sure they do it enough. But last night it's the best that it had played because it had just been watered. So that's a wrap from here. I'm going to be back for the U.S. Open tomorrow, actually at U.S. Open qualifying, believe it or not, in the big city. I am sad to be leaving the Dominican Republic, but all good things must come to an end. And I will see you all back in the Big Apple for the U.S. Open.